The Bad Batch Season 3 Episode 4 has dropped, and now it's time to break down the latest adventures of our favourite dodgy clones. Hold on to your helmets because there's something rather prequel-y about Episode 4. Let's see if you spot it before I do.
Let's try things your way.
Finally.
However, there are some fans out there that won't be too thrilled with this episode. Before we jump into the thick of it, let's hit the rewind button real quick to catch up with the story so far. Last week we caught Omega getting chummy with a lurker hound she dubbed Batcher. This crew is not just a furry friend, however, it's a pawn in the Empire's game to tackle Wayland's wild side. Omega's playing her own game though, trying to flip Crosshair from foe to friend with an escape plot brewing. Meanwhile, she's challenging her inner artisan, whipping up a straw version of Wrecker's beloved Tuka doll, Lula. MRA, showing a glimmer of heart beneath that Imperial lab coat, swipes it but ends up giving it back. A small act, but it screams, hey, I'm not just your typical science baddie. Now over at the Wayland facility, it's like a blood drive gone wrong. They're testing the clones to see if any of them are a suitable host for midichlorians to be injected into them, all under Dr. Royce Henlock's watchful eye. When Batcher takes a hit and lands on the Empire's hit list, Omega plays the hero, leading her furry pal to freedom, but freedom comes at a cost, a scolding from Hemlock and Emre Carr. We also catch up with Hunter and Wrecker living that mercenary life. They're on a scavenger hunt for Hemlock's hideout, and a juicy bounty leads them to a jungle planet. It's not just vines and vines, they stumble upon some teen clones left in the Empire's dust. Battling through some killer flora, our duo scoops up some intel that might just point them to Wayland, and they play the heroes, saving the clone kids along the way. Now back on Tantis, Omega and a not-so-keen Crosshair are plotting their great escape, but time's ticking. Emre's taken over the clone blood testing, and Nala Se's been ditching Omega's samples to keep her safe. Now step in Emperor Palpatine, dropping into peep on Project Necromancer. He gives Hemlock the thumbs up, but as soon as he jets, all hell breaks loose. Crosshair and Omega make a break for it, with a little help from Batcher and a nudge from Nala Se. And here's the real kicker, Carr and Hemlock crack the code. Omega turns out to be the golden ticket, her blood's the perfect cocktail for their midichlorian madness. Now the Empire's got one goal, snatch back their prime clone. Now let's gear up for episode 4 titled A Different Path. Crosshair and Omega are in a tight spot, scrambling to reunite with Clone Force 99. Their rides seem better days, forcing a pit stop on a mystery planet. But it's not all doom and gloom, some beastly allies might just be their ticket off this rock. With Omega and Crosshair having just given the Empire the slip, there's consequences back on Tantis. Hemlock's grilling Nala Se about Omega's blood sample hitting the jackpot, but she's playing it cool, claiming it's just a false positive. Hemlock's not buying what she's selling though, and he's got that I'm gonna threaten you now look in his eyes. Nala Se's been tossing Omega's blood samples like they're a bad takeout, and Hemlock's smelling something fishy. And here's a thought to chew on. How did Nala Se know Omega's blood was the Empire's golden ticket in the first place? Were the Kaminoans cooking up Force-sensitive clones in their labs? Meanwhile at the spaceport it's a regular intergalactic jamboree. Crosshair's spotting troopers, Omega's playing dress up with stolen threads, and there's an R2 unit that's about to witness the heist of the century. The plan's to hop on a shuttle, but those things are guarded tighter than the plot of the Bad Batch Season 3. Crosshair's itching for a shootout ready to drop troopers like they're hot, but Omega's all about that pacifist life. She's steering clear of the blaster fire and Crosshair's feeling like a race car stuck in traffic. It's a classic Star Wars move, solving problems without turning the place into a laser tag arena. Omega's next move, trying to buy a ticket to freedom, but the price is steep. 30,000 credits to be exact. Talk about inflation. Now they're not just looking for a ride, they're also on a treasure hunt for these credits. And here's our cut of the nostalgia pie for the Clone Wars fans out there, are street kids peddling Melurons. Remember them from Bounty? That's right, it's not just a tasty treat, it's a slice of Star Wars history, which, fun fact, was actually first introduced to Star Wars back in the Star Wars Legends novel titled X-Wing, Wedge's Gamble, which was released back in 1996. Now to get some credits, Omega and Crosshair end up at a cantina faster than you can say handshot first. They spot a couple of troopers and an Imperial captain making an exit. One's rocking goggles and they're both spotting ponchos over their armor. Maybe they're just trying to blend in, or maybe they just dig the poncho aesthetic. Either way, it's a fashion statement that's more noticeable than a Wookiee at a droid convention. In the cantina, Omega's gambling chops are saving the day. She's cleaning house at the card table, a trick she picked up during her stint with Sid. It's all smooth sailing though until the Imperial captain crashes the party, challenging Omega to a game, and as it turns out, the captain's a sore loser. When Omega wins, he finds her as gambling's illegal on the planet apparently. I'm not buying it, but anyway, he demands 10,000 credits, Omega cops up the cash, but they're still sitting pretty sweet with a hefty 35,000 credits left. That's the ticket money and then some extra. Now outside it's a different story. Batch has gone AWOL, and after shelling out 5,000 credits to the local Maluron fruit vendor, they discover Imperial goons have nabbed their furry friend. Crosshair's ready to cut their losses, but Omega's not leaving without Batcher. It's a lesson straight out of the Star Wars playbook, one that George would have been proud of. Every creature, no matter how small, can make a big difference. Now, down at the docks, it's a regular intergalactic zoo. Creatures caged up and ready for shipping, but Omega and Crosshair aren't having any of it. They're on a rescue mission to free Batcher. The Imperial captain's laying down the law. Oh, and he's reported them to Hemlock, by the way. But Omega's done playing nice. She tosses the credits and gives Crosshair the green light to go full blaster. And for the eagle-eyed fans out there, there's a treasure trove of sequel trilogy Easter eggs to spot. Listen for the porgs and watch as Crosshair takes aim, while Omega unleashes carnage, including a Raftar that makes quick work of the captain. It's a wild ride that proves sometimes you gotta fight fire with fire or tentacles. Now Omega and Crosshair have given the Empire the slip again, and they've managed to rescue Batcher too. Omega sends a coded SOS to Hunter and Wrecker for the group to meet at a safe location. As they touch down, it's a family reunion with the Marauder crew. Omega's back with her brothers, but the mood's bittersweet. They've been star hopping more times than we've had hot dinners, searching for their lost sibling, and when Crosshair steps out, you could cut the tension with a lightsaber. Wrecker's tears were a masterstroke. It's not just a reunion, it's quite clear it's an emotional rollercoaster reminding us that this crew is more than clone troopers, they're family. But Crosshair's reception, let's just say it's colder than Hoth. Next week's episode is shaping up to be a doozy. This week might have been a slow burn, but it was packed with the kind of banter and heart that George Lucas infused into the very fabric of Star Wars. In that respect, it's a welcome return to form, with deeper lessons implemented into the story, which has largely been missing in action since Disney took the reins. And now the big question, what's next for Omega? Well, with most of her trailer moments already in the rear view, her future's wide open. The tension between Hunter, Wrecker, Crosshair is pretty thick to say the least. Will Omega find herself in a bind again, forcing the Bad Batch to band together and smooth over their rough edges? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, it's definitely shaping up to be a banger. So how do you think the reunion will play out in next week's episode? Drop your thoughts down in the comments, leave a like on the video, subscribe if you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one. May the Force be with you.